Hi there, in this tutorial we're going to look at how to assemble our noob. So we've obviously made our arms, body, legs, head and potentially a hat as well, possibly some other accessories. So now we're looking at how we can combine them together in a single model. We're going to be using the CAD commands grounded, mate, flush and center axes to produce a model. Ideally, we're looking for all these parts to be fully constrained, and I'll explain about what that means as we go along. We want the body to be grounded, and I'll also explain about what that means as we go along. And we ideally want to be working completely independently. Finally, we need to be able to explain what the CAD commands mean that we're using, so grounded, mate, flush, and center axes. So let's get started in Inventor. So remember, this is Autodesk Inventor Professional 2019, and it can also be found in the Autodesk folder in your Start menu. So just as we've done before, we're going to go up to New, the new page icon in the top left corner. And make sure we're in templates metric. And we're not doing a part, this time we're doing an assembly. So we're assembling parts together. So we've got a variety of assemblies here, and we want to click standard MM. So we can click on that there and click create. So it'll look fairly similar. There's still a space here where our model will appear, but you'll notice the menu bar up here is different. It's got different options. It's got assembly there first as the first tab. It's still got 3D model and sketch. We don't use those so much when we're working in assemblies. And we've got our model tree down to the left hand side here. So we need to go up to place and click on the place icon there. And that has brought me straight into my folder where all my parts are. You might need to navigate towards that. So you've got your folder where the body, the head, the leg and the arm that you've made are. I'm going to select the body first of all. And you should do the same. So select that there and click open. And now we've got a body, and we can just click once. And then once you've clicked, you can press escape. Don't click again, because what you'll end up is with a second item. If you do put a second item in, just click on it and then press delete. So I'm just going to rotate that round, shift and hold on my mouse key or scroll wheel. And you see I've got my body in here. This currently at the moment can be dragged around in this space, and we don't really want that. We want that to be what we call grounded, so fixed in its position. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the assembly, and where it says body, we're going to right click on that there, and we're going to go down to grounded. So that means it's fixed in its location, and that we won't move it, or it won't be moving around. So once that's grounded, we can go up to place again. And this time we're going to go for the head. And we're going to click open. And then again, we just click again. And if you do accidentally click, so I've accidentally clicked twice, press escape first, click on the head, and then you can press the delete key, and that'll just disappear. So I can rotate that around, and I can see the head's kind of sitting off the side of my body, and its face is kind of facing to the side. So we're going to use some constraints. So constraints are you're telling the model how different parts are held against each other. So what is the relationship between two different parts? So we can click on constraint at the top here. And what we want to do first is we're going to do a center axis constraint. So we can hover over that little cylinder at the bottom of our head, or anywhere on the head actually, and that'll get that center axis up there. Then we put that little cylinder at the top of our body, so we want to click on that there as well. And it's aligned those axes up. So those two center axes are now aligned. It's gone upside down for me here. And it's because it's gone for an opposed center axis there. But we want to change that to aligned. If it's gone upside down for yourself. And then once you've done that there, you can click apply. And we'll just close that there now. So now we can see that this head is attached to the body. It can still move up and down, but it will rotate on that center axis. So I'm going to move him, the head up a little bit there. Just going to zoom out there and zoom to all, so I can see what's going on. So now we want to add a constraint between the bottom of the head and the top of the body. So the head's attached to the body. So hit constraint, click on the surface. When it highlights red, so you have to be careful what you're clicking on here. So when that highlights red, you've got the red square on the outside and the wee red circle in the middle. Click there, Then you're going to have to rotate the model. So hold Shift and your middle scroll wheel down on your mouse. Rotate your model, and then you can click on the bottom of the head. And it should look like the head is now sitting on top of the body. And we can click Apply there. And then we can close that. So you can see the head is now on top of the body. The head still rotates, and we'll leave that. So that head is it's not fully constrained in the sense that it's still got a degree of movement to it, but that is quite realistic having the head being able to rotate. So we'll just leave it like that there. So next up, we're going to go up to Place again, and we are going to go and insert a leg. So click on Leg and click Open, and we're going to input the leg there. And we just need one leg at first, so we're going to press Escape to get rid of that there, and we're now free to constrain that. So we're going up to Constrain tool again, and there's a couple of different constraints here. We can use Mate and we can use Flush. So Mate means the two edges we click on will be kind of opposing each other, will be face to face, while Flush means the two edges we click on will be in flush with each other, as you can see in the wee diagrams there. So we want to use the Flush at first, and we're going to click on the side of this leg and the side of the body. So you can see they're now flush with each other, and we can click Apply there. I'm just rotating that round, holding Shift and the scroll wheel down. And now I want the front of the body to be flush with the front of the leg, and we can click Apply there. Now I'm just going to close this a second. So our leg's kind of inner body at the moment, not really where we want it. So we're just going to drag that down, and you can see it's still free to move, and we'll just drag it down below the body there. Now I'm going to open up Constraint again, and this time I want them to mate. So I want the bottom of that, top of that leg to be constrained with the bottom of that body there. So we can click on that there, rotate round, and click on the top of that there, and the leg is now attached to the bottom of the body there, and we click Apply. So we just close that there. You'll see that leg is not going anywhere now. It's firmly attached to the body. So what we're going to do is now we're going to pattern that leg, because we want two legs. So we're going to click on the leg, we're going to go up to the menu bar, still into the Assembly tab, we're going to click Pattern. And we've got a couple of options here. We want to use a rectangular array, a box array for this pattern. The component, as we had it selected, that arrow has already gone white up there, but you'll notice under column, there's a little red arrow. So we need to select the direction we're going to pattern. So we're going to zoom in, and it's just going to be along the bottom of the body there. Now you can't really see that second leg has appeared. There are two legs there, but they're only 2 millimeters apart. So you're going to change that distance to 50. And you'll notice it's gone out the wrong side. So we had that problem before, and you'll remember that this little flip direction button will then move it to the other side. We'll click OK there, and we've got our two legs input. So it's starting to take shape. We've got body, some legs. So let's get some arms in there. So up to the Place command again, and we're going to look for our arm. So click on that there, click Open. I'm just going to click for one of those, and then we'll just press Escape to get rid of that there. So again, up to our Constraint tool. And first of all, just like we did before, we want to use the Flush constraint first. So remember, that's kind of leaving these two surfaces flush. We're going to click on the top of the arm and the top of the body. So they're now flush. Click Apply. Going to click the front of the arm and the front of the body. So they're now flush as well. You can see it moved there. Click Apply. And then finally, we want to use the Mate. So click Mate, and we want to do the inside of the arm that's closest to the body. Click there, and we want to click on the body there itself, and you see the arm is now attached itself to the body. We'll click Apply there. Oops, sorry, just get rid of that. And we'll close that. And notice that arm is now firmly attached to that body there. What we now want to do is pattern the arm as well. So we'll click on the arm, we'll click Pattern, and again we're going to go for that rectangular array or box array, and we're going to select which, an edge to tell which direction we want to pattern it in. So we're going to select that one there, and again it's created an arm, but it's right next to it. You can only just about see there's two arms there, so we're going to change that, and this time it's going to be 150 we're going for, and then we can click OK there. So now we have our two arms, our two legs, and it's really starting to take shape. I'm just going to add a hat, so you may or may not have done a hat. So you might want to skip towards the end if not. But I'm just going to quickly insert a hat there. So I'm going to go place again. I'm going to go for a baseball hat that I've made. I made a few different hats I have. Click open, and we'll click once and press escape there. So now I'm going to constrain again. We're going to go for a center axis again. So we're going to hover over the head, see what that axis up the middle highlighted. We can click there, and then we're going to hover over the kind of cylinder part of the hat, which is just, oh, there we are there. And that's put on upside down, so we'll just flip that around. We use aligned center axis there, and we'll click apply. I'm just going to close this a second. We're just going to drag that hat off the top of his head so you can see what he's doing a little bit. And we now want to make the top of his head with the inside of the hat. So I'm going to go constrain. That's going to be a mate because the surfaces are opposing each other. So I'm going to click on the top of his head. I'm going to rotate round, hold shift, hold on the middle mouse key, and click on the inside of his hat. And there we are. Click apply. And we'll just close that there. And I'm going to leave that free to rotate. That means if he wants it in front or going behind, we can decide. And that's our hat added. So we've gone through a few different commands there. We've got our mate, our flush, our center axis, and our grounded there. And if we look back at our success criteria there, we wanted all parts fully constrained. Obviously we left a couple of the head and the hat with a degree of freedom. But they're as fully constrained as we want them to be. We've got the body was grounded there as well. So hopefully you've managed to achieve the level you're looking for here. And don't forget, you now need to write down your explanations for grounded, mate, flush, and center axes.